between Tuesday 9th and Wednesday 10th December 2025. At the Apapa Seaport in Lagos, NDLEA officers on Saturday 13th December intercepted a consignment of 170,000 bottles of codeine syrup weighing 23,579 kilograms during a joint examination of a container with men of customs service and other security agencies. While commending the officers and men of the Directorate of Operations and General Investigation, DOGI, Niger, Abia, Oyo, Enugu, Seme, Ogun, Ondo, Gombe, Apapa, and Edo commands for the arrests, seizures, and their dexterity, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa retired, enjoin them and their colleagues across the country to continue with the ongoing balanced approach to the drug control efforts of the agency. That's it on arrest and seizures. Next is the update on some of the other activities across the country for the week, brought to you by my colleague, Peace.
Thank you, Nata. My name is Peace, the pastor, and here are some of the weather activities across the country for the week. Nigeria's response to substance abuse is taking a more inclusive and forward-thinking direction through the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's War Against Drug Abuse WADA Social Advocacy Initiative. Far beyond a conventional sensitization drive, WADA has become a nationwide movement, uniting public institutions, community groups, families, and everyday Nigerians in a common cause. By shifting the focus from enforcement alone to prevention, rehabilitation, and community engagement, the NDLEA affirms that addressing drug misuse is a collective responsibility. Through sustained awareness programs in schools, markets, motor parks, places of worship, and other public spaces, the NDLEA is educating communities, dispelling myths, and reducing stigma while promoting healthier choices and building a safer, more resilient Nigeria. In this regard, on Monday, 8th December 2025, the Enugu State Command of NDLEA paid a WADA advocacy visit to His Royal Majesty Igwe Ikechukwu Samuel Asadu, Chairman of the Enugu State Council of Traditional Rulers. The visit focused on strengthening collaboration with traditional institutions as vital partners in the fight against drug abuse. NDLEA officers emphasized the influential role of royal fathers in shaping community values, guiding youth, and promoting collective responsibility towards building drug-free communities across the state. Similarly, the Anambra State Command conducted a WADA enlightenment lecture for students and staff of Sunbeam Nursery Primary and Secondary School, Nafia. The session sensitized participants on the dangers of substance abuse, highlighting its negative effects on health, discipline, and academic performance. Students were encouraged to develop positive habits, resist negative peer pressure, and make informed choices that support their future ambitions. On Tuesday, 9th December 2025, the Idiruku Special Area Command delivered a WADA Enlightenment lecture to students and staff of Darussunnah Group of Schools, Kanisuru, Idiruku. Officers highlighted the harmful effects of drug misuse and underscored the importance of moral values, self-discipline, and responsible decision-making in protecting young people from substance abuse. Meanwhile, the Kano State Strategic Command conducted a WADA sensitization lecture for students and staff of Government College Tudunwada, Dankade. The lecture addressed the negative impacts of drug abuse on mental health, behavior, and academic achievement, urging students to remain focused on their studies and adopt positive lifestyles that promote long-term success. On Wednesday, 10th December 2025, the Benue State Command delivered a WADA advocacy lecture to students and staff of Methodist High School, Makotiti. The session educated participants on the risk associated with substance abuse. It encouraged learners to uphold discipline, integrity, and strong personal values as foundations for a productive and drug-free future. On Thursday, 11th December 2025, the Katsina State Command conducted a WADA sensitization lecture for students and staff of Community Senior Secondary School, Shemen. Officers enlightened participants on the dangers of drug misuse, emphasizing the importance of self-control, resilience, and informed choices in resisting substance abuse. Concluding the week's activities, the Tinkan Strategic Command delivered a weather enlightenment lecture to staff and dock workers at Five-Star Terminal, Tinkan Port, Lagos. The session focused on the risk of drug misuse within the maritime and port environment, emphasizing the need for vigilance, professionalism, and adherence to safety standards to maintain a secure and productive workplace. That's the update for this week. My name is Peace, and I hand you over to our host, Mr. Femi Babafemi.
All right, thank you very much, Peace and Netta. There, welcome back from the news highlight segment. Now, let's remind ourselves about some of the rules of our engagement on this platform today. Please note that when we are preview to be on the speaker's corner, it's not a liberty to interrupt the presentation by a guest speaker or to um, bring on interferences from your background. Please let's remain muted until after the presentation by our guest speaker, and we'll then start inviting individuals. We'll call you by your name or the name of your handle, and then you will be advised to ask your question or to make your contributions very briefly. That's the point. You're allowed to unmute yourself. Please we do this so that we can enjoy the conversation and we can then hear each other and then understand what we're doing. We appreciate you because you always cooperate in this regard every week when we have this conversation. Once again, we'd like to remind everyone this is our last episode for the year. We have come this far, 167th edition. That's awesome. Now, let's quickly remind you about the NDLA's call center. That's a platform where individuals who want to know about substance abuse, how to get help, or those who are struggling with substance abuse and need to get help or need to find where to get help, everything you need to know about the issue of substance abuse and counseling our toll our toll free help again is 0802030. And right at the end, at the other side of the call, will be our experts talking about our counselors, clinical psychologists, psychotherapists, and psychiatric doctors who work 24/7 every day of the week. 7. They are there in the morning, afternoon, evening, at night, early in the morning, every moment, every hour, every second. They are there to attend to you, to pick your calls, to support you, counsel you, provide psychosocial support services to you, and then see you through your recovery. So all you need to do is free helpline wherever you may be. It's free. That's why we call it toll-free helpline. You are not paying for the call, so be free to call the line so that you can get the needed help. It's also important to let you know that whatever you for the period of your counseling or teletherapy, definitely rest assured that your conversation, your discussions, your information, everything is, I mean, handled with utmost confidentiality, meaning that you have no reason to feel to be afraid of being judged or being stigmatized. We have professionals who will attend to you professionally. That's for our call center. Maybe I need to add again that indeed this service is language sensitive, meaning that if you cannot speak English or Pidgin, our experts right at the call center can attend to you in any of the three major Nigerian languages, that is Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. This is to further deepen the reach of this service down to the communities, the local, the grassroots level, so that no one would have an excuse not to be able to seek help when indeed they are in need of help. That's the update for this week. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty of this conversation. We have our guest speaker already well seated on the platform. So, I'm going to be introducing him formally now, and he will be discussing, leading the conversation on our topic for today, which is festive season, drug abuse prevention, management, and public health driven interventions. Indeed, this is the season where people, like last week, we call it Dirty December, but this week we're covering it up the entire festive season where people seem to want to let down their guard in the name of trying to catch fun, in the name of trying to enjoy themselves, and then they indulge in a lot of other things. So today we will be looking at how to prevent, handle the prevention, the management, and indeed the public health driven interventions so that people can indeed have fun, can enjoy the festive season without necessarily going into in harm's way. That's exactly the thing. So we have someone who is well knowledgeable, somebody who has been in this field for years, for decades. Uh, who will be leading with his presentation first, and then we would come back to have to interrogate and then to ask questions, contribute to the discussion. And it's no other person than Dr. Baripua Ebenezer, who is a distinguished pharmacist with expertise in mental health, substance misuse, and public health, with over 2 decades of experience spanning community pharmacist practice, academia, research, consultancy, and global health leadership. He is a researcher at the University of Birmingham, that should be in UK, where his PhD focused on substance misuse prevention, management, and public health driven interventions with relevance to Nigeria and low and middle income countries. Pharmacist Ebenezer is internationally recognized as a consultant in substance misuse and public health, having worked across the UK, Nigeria, and other global systems to design evidence based strategies for addiction prevention, treatment, and recovery. He is the developer of the Ebenezer Framework approach, an innovative context sensitive model for managing substance and drug misuse tailored to Nigeria and other LIMCs, that's low and middle income countries, integrating public health, mental health, pharmaceutical care, and community based recovery systems. He is the Global Chief Executive Officer of Hope Gilead Recovery Foundation, a non governmental organization dedicated to substance misuse prevention, addiction recovery, and mental health promotion. Through this platform, he has led multidisciplinary interventions, advocacy programs, and capacity building initiatives addressing drug misuse and mental health disparities. In addition, Ebenezer serves as okay, sorry about that. In addition, Ebenezer serves as the director of CAMSO Pharmaceuticals Nigeria, contributing to pharmaceutical leadership, public health innovation, and ethical medicine. He has an extensive academic background, having lectured in pharmacy, public health and social care, and clinical sciences at universities and colleges in the UK and Nigeria. Has published widely in peer-reviewed journals and international conferences. Pharmacist Ebenezer is widely regarded as one of the leading voices in substance misuse, mental health, pharmacy, and public health practice, combining scholarship, policy insight, and real world impact to advance sustainable solutions for addiction and mental health challenges globally. Please join me in welcoming pharmacist Ebenezer as I invite him to unmute himself while we listen to him spend the next 30 minutes. They are about to discuss our topic for today, festive season, drug abuse prevention, management, and public health driven interventions. Please go ahead, Dr. Ebenezer. It's our pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Femi, and thank you everyone in the NDLEA team and for setting up this program. Well done. I want to thank everyone that have joined us live. Thank you so much. Welcome everyone and good afternoon from United Kingdom. I'll be talking briefly on festive season practical steps in drug abuse prevention, management, and public health driven intervention using critically the Ebenezer's approach. The Ebenezer's framework approach is the framework I developed during my PhD study at the University of Birmingham. It basically involves using COMBI. COMBI is talking about capacity, opportunity, and motivation to bring about behavioral change. SEND, which is the social ecological model, and TTM is the trans-theoretical model. So the Ebenezer framework approach utilizes three different theoretical models to bring about solving problems for substance misuse for Nigeria and low and medium income countries. This is an evidence-based framework which we will be looking at and towards the course of this discussion. Briefly, I'll just talk about what drug abuse is. Drug abuse is just basically harmful or excessive use of drugs in a way that is not medically intended, socially acceptable, or legally permitted. All right, and the key points here are it involves the misuse of illegal drugs, prescription medicines, or over-the-counter medications, drugs like tramadol, codeine, and the rest of them. These are not over-the-counter medication, but codeine syrup, which is over-the-counter medication, is a major one. Tramadol is a prescription-only medicine. But within Nigeria's scenario, which because of our open market system, and that is one of the things the Ebenezer's framework address, is that controlled drugs like POM should not be easily accessible. So drug abuse occurs when substances are taken in wrong dose for non-medical reasons or without prescriptions. It can lead to addiction. Evidence have shown this, where a person loses control over drug use despite harmful consequences. Drug abuse negatively affects physical health, mental well-being, and behavioral and social relationships. It poses serious risks to families, communities, and society, especially when left unanswered or when left unaddressed. Now, while I'm looking at the title is drug abuse, but I'm going to look at substance misuse as well in a broader story, which is the bigger brother of drug misuse. Okay, substance misuse refers to the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol, illicit drugs, and prescription over-the-counter medications. These are in drug abuse, alcohol, in this festive season, alcohol is mostly very, very well abused. And the rest of it, that's why I'm bringing it in. Because of one, if we leave it, we might be missing a very major part of our discussion. Now, it negatively affects physical health like drug abuse. During festive period, misuse often increases due to celebration of peer pressure and reduced supervision. Among our kids, get to festive period, people are always celebrating. Why we want to look at why festive period? Why festive period? Greater gatherings and celebration occur at this period. Like Femi have rightly said, and about Nigeria now is what is going on is the dirty December and the rest of them. They just arrive and they will arrive and the rest of them. So people want to paint the town red and the rest of them. So there's a lot of celebration within this period. So people's morale, people's safeguard are gradually losing, and which could lead to issues. Cultural normalization of alcohol and drugs use during festive period. People want to feel high, understand? People want to be high, want to feel abnormal. Youths want to be at fear, under peer pressure. Oh, A is doing it, I want to do it as well. Reduce parental and school and community supervision. Schools are closed now. Parents are at work and the rest of them, or some of them might be at home. Kids are out to enjoy themselves. So the festive period is a very critical period. And the importance of this discussion, I want to thank the NDLA again. The importance for having me. The importance of this discussion is not just tied to the festive period alone. The Ebenezer's framework approach, which was developed, serves as a sustainable national framework that will not just only in this festive period, but will stand as a building block in fighting the issues of substance misuse in Nigeria, if critically followed in total. All right, we're going to look at commonly misused substances in Nigeria during festive period. You have under alcohol, we're going to looking at beer, so that you just have an idea of what you should be looking at. Spirits, locally brewed alcohol, ogogoro, and the rest of them. Beer drinking, common in parties and the rest of them. And alcohol is the major contributor of accidents, so we need to be very careful about that. Now, another commonly misused substance, cannabis, Indian hemp, widely used among youths and adults, often misused with alcohol during celebrations. And that is why during the prevention, I will be telling you what things you could do to guide yourself. Get your drinks covered. Don't leave your drinks unattended. Don't take a drink when you didn't see the drink being opened and the rest of it. These are key steps we must take to guide ourselves this period. Cocaine-containing cough syrup, such as misuse for sedative and euphoric effects. And this is time community pharmacists need to be aware when you see the regular influx of purchase of codeine-containing cough syrup, you need to query them. You need to query benzodiazepines, where you have Lezotan, bromazepam, which is bromazepam, and the rest of them. Party drugs, including ecstasy, methamphetamine, and locally mixed substances, often used in clubs and as the case may be. So these are just a breakdown of what these substances being misused, what substance misuse is, the Ebenezer's framework approach, and type of substances being misused. All right, now let's go to why the festive period. I just give you a breakdown. One, there's increased social gathering and celebration, which I've talked about. High availability of alcohol and drugs misuse is at this stage. So everywhere you go, people are misusing substances because of one, there's easy availability. Festive period often characterized by greater circulation of alcohol and illicit drugs. Another stuff which we look at during the festive period, what causes it as well is emotional triggers. Loneliness, grief, stress, financial pressure. Within this festive period, people want to go and consume or misuse substances. And disruption of routines and recovery support systems. Most times, some clinic or public health centers are shut down, so those are on recovery medication. They tend to not have this availability, but thank you so much for NDLA that they have the 24-hour service, 24-hour service. That is mind-blowing, and we need to commend them for what they are doing because of one, have 24 hours access to professionals where you could call at each point T is a welcome development. We want to thank them for that. So people can access services at any time. So you could call them, make informations. They have doctors, psychotherapy, and the rest of them who can listen to you. Now, we're going to look at how can we prevent this substance misuse. We're looking at substance misuse or drug misuse abuse in festive period, prevention, management, and public health intervention. So we've looked at the background, which we've looked at what substance misuse talked about. We've looked at us commonly misused substances. We've looked at why the festive period, people low mood, people's safety moods are being lowered at this point in time, families and the rest of them. Now we're going to be looking at the preventive. How do we prevent this? And now for us to prevent this, we are going to be using the Ebenezer's framework approach. And the Ebenezer's framework approach, most people might be hearing it for the first time, or it's an evidence-based approach developed by Ebenezer, myself during my course at the University of Birmingham. Now, this approach talks about three theoretical models. It talks about COMBI. COMBI stands for COMBI SME, which is social ecological model, and the TTM, which is the trans-theoretical model. These three models, These are evidence-based models over the world that have been tested and proven was combined to salvage Nigeria's problem. And they will be looking at part of it, one of our time, in the course of this discussion. What is COMB talking about? COMB, C in that COMB stands for capability. Okay, festive period, education, we need to equip ourselves. Is it the youth? Is it our families? Is it our parents? Is it our friends and the rest of them on the dangers on substance misuse? We found out that once the right knowledge is given, mostly at a very young age to kids, the tendency of them not misusing substances have been proven to be very, very effective if they have the right socio-ecological environment, everything ticked as correct. So capability equips individuals on the timely knowledge about substance-related risk. So how can we prevent? Listen, grant knowledge. This could come in churches. This could come in mosques. This could come from parents. This could come from as friends. This could come from the NDLA as what they are doing as well. Sending messages, sending short messages, and the rest of them. Don't drink and don't. If you must drive, don't drink. You must not take drugs this season and the rest of it. Such short messages could go a long way, or evidence, science has shown that could go a long way to prevent and mitigate substance misuse or drug misuse. Talking about the awareness of overdose and mental health crisis, this could cause. When people understand the pharmacological implications and the social implications to their families, there's a tendency of them trying not to listen because of one, it might be ringing in their head. One, capability talks about practical coping skills, where people talk about help, seeking help if need be, learning how to say no. Understand, this is very important for youth and our teens as well, because of one. There are the studies as to most of the people abusing substances these days in Nigeria and most developing countries are the youths and the rest of them. So we need to talk about telling them, give them the grace or the opportunity to say no when confronted. Somebody say, do you want to have this? Okay, no, I don't take drugs. Let them understand that no is no. When people know that it can be both to themselves, it will go a long way. And one of the beauty of capability it does is that if you look at the Japan coffee model, Japan initially did not embrace coffee. They were just tea and the rest of them. What did Nescafe do? Nescafe went back, did their research. They couldn't penetrate Japan. They went back to their foundation and what is one? The little kids, the young teenagers, the ones, small boys in schools and the rest of them, in primary, nursery and the rest, and start talking to them, providing flavored Nescafe, chocolates and the rest of them. When this you and make them to understand Nescafe was not bad and the rest, when these youths grew up, they started going for Nescafe tea and the rest of them. And that was in that way, Nescafe was able to penetrate Japan and became one of the most sought after tea in Japan. Now bringing it back, using the Nescafe model now to the Nigerian situation, our youths, the young and old, by the time we spend time to tell them about the dangers of substance misuse, the tendency of them preventing it could be very, very high. They're going to get very good success because of one. Their early years, the foundation is very clear in their nursery, in their primary school, words that are suited to their age and the rest of them. I'll share a story with you. While I was in SS1 in Nigeria, I schooled in my secondary school and my first degree in Nigeria. Now, I got to SS1, I asked some of my friends, they said, oh, let's bars and the rest of them. I woke up one morning and I saw them in school and they were buzzing, young buzzers. So in that period, I said no to them and I severed my friendship with them. In that way, because of one, my foundation in the family was right. My mom ensured that the right knowledge was given to me, given to us as kids, on the dangers of drug and alcohol. To this date, none of my brothers have ever drank or tasted alcohol or ever smoked. So the foundation matters very well for parents listening and the society as well. NDLA, we need to go do what we are doing so much a great job, and the rest of them. We need to get to the foundation, nursery school, primary school, and create an awareness and knowledge-based program. That alone will help prevent substance misuse, not only in this festive period, because it now becomes a way of life. I could tell you for sure that substance misuse, give Nigeria 20 years, using the Indonesia framework approach, could be wiped off from our system because of one. The older generation that have been misusing the substances that are gradually not changing 100% will fade out, and the younger generation, through capability, through knowledge-driven, will come up with an evidence-based lifestyle which will prevent substance misuse. Let's quickly move. What in that can be is opportunity. Alcohol-free drug community and faith events, creating opportunities for people to have alcohol-free drug opportunity activities. Like churches, schools come up with an opportunity. NDA, okay, we're having a free drug activity and the rest of them. Speak to them about give them the opportunity to discuss their issues, share with them why they need to stay away from drugs. You could take Coke, you can take mineral. When I mean Coke, I'm talking about Coca-Cola. Take, if you can, take water, preach about water is healthy. When we provide these opportunities, such as alcohol-free or drugs-free community and faith events, the issue of substance misuse could be prevented or will be prevented. Motivation. Providing the right motivation. What was motivation? The combis, that's about motivation. Providing the right motivation. Talking about motivating the youths, why not to take substances, giving awards for those that have stayed away from substances, and as the case may be. This tendency will go a long way, will bring about a behavioral change, not only in this festive period alone, but as a lifestyle. Because of what? If we concentrate only in the festive period, what happens after the festive period? So creating this as a motivation, where we look at combi capacity, opportunity, and the right motivation, this science have shown that, evidence have shown that this could bring about behavioral change. Quickly to the second one is the trans-theoretical model, which is TTM. Contemplation. Individuals in this stage may not recognize that substance use is risky. So what we need to do, we need to help them, talk to them about it, share with them on how to prevent it, and how to stay away from substance misuse. So practical steps for setting up during festive seasons. Families play a critical protective role during festivities. Setting up clear boundaries about alcohol and drug use. Set expectations. We need to set clear boundaries if we need to prevent a substance misuse. Parents need to set this clear in their homes. The churches need to set this clear boundaries. The communities need to set this clear boundary. Monitoring children activities reduces exposure to risk. It can be shown. Ask your kids, where are you going to? Why are you acting this way and the rest of them? When your kids understand that you know what they know, come down to their age, understand, and don't be too busy for them. I could tell you to a large extent, we could prevent substance misuse. The religious body, the churches, the mosques have a role to play. But this is not to say that counseling and prayer should not replace, but can complement professional care. Drug-free events, modern health celebration, religious leadership can powerfully influence community norms, like the pastors, like the imams, talking to people about it. It's people that are respected in our society and the rest of them. NDA have been doing a lot of work from the news guideline, which I've just heard, and the rest of them making publications, creating awareness program. We need to do more on that stream. Community settings is another way we could prevent substance misuse. People bringing about people recovery. All right. Now let's look about the management of substance misuse. So now, for us to manage substance misuse or drug misuse within this period, there's a need for early identification and screening. And my center, Hope Recovery Foundation, is an NGO, it's a non-governmental NGO that is fostered with creating knowledge, like what we are doing now, creating capacity, building, training individuals, doctors, nurses, pharmacists on how to identify and manage substance misuse. We'll be setting up a center very soon where we could increase our training numbers, and the NDLA is doing a good job in that area as well. So early identification and screening centers, I'm sure the NDLA have something similar to this, where people could be screened, routine screening in primary care, pharmacy schools, and community setting. Early recognition of risk use, and before dependence development, we need to look at what are those areas where this risk could come about and try to prevent them. Use some screening tools, as the case may be. Now, the second part of it is the clinical and psychological management, where we could use behavioral interventions to bring about change, management of withdrawal symptoms under medical supervision, evidence-based treatment of substance dependence, and comprehensive assessment. Family support and social support, where we support families. Families should be supported at this stage to help in the management, making sure that they don't feel left alone, making sure that they are not shamed. In our culture, we have this shame culture. Oh, his son is taking drugs. Because of that, people tend not to come out. People tend not to speak out. And that's one of the advocacy programs my NGO is doing with Billet Recovery Foundation. We are doing a massive advocacy on no shame culture, no blame culture. This will encourage families to speak out, people to come out and get help. The NDLA is doing a lot of job. There's a lot of help available, but most times people are not coming out for help because of one, the social and norm. Oh, my son. So most people, even the wealthy ones in our society, that their children use drugs, but they hide it in the society. So we need to use this non-shame culture in preventing this. Now let's look at the public health interventions of substance misuse. For us to prevent substance misuse in the public, or to intervene to intervene to bring about a reduction in substance misuse, community-wide drug awareness and health programs campaign is very, very vital. And the NDLA is doing so much on this. Every hands must be on deck. You cannot leave the job on NDLA alone. Support other NGOs, families, and the rest of them to ensure that we create enough knowledge. People perish for lack of knowledge. We need to create enough knowledge. When people have knowledge, the tendency of them involving in substances to a large extent will be cut down by 50%. Science has shown that. School-based drug education and life skills program, media campaign promoting health, substance-free lifestyle, and festive season-specific risk communication. We need to use the media to talk about the need for healthy and substance-free lifestyles. Another way we could, the public health intervention is the prevention across the life course, early childhood and adolescent prevention, which we have talked about, and that's one of the stuff that is handled by the Ebenezer's framework approach. And the method of public health intervention that is seen to be very effective is the Ebenezer's framework approach. Why is this Ebenezer's framework approach holistic in preventing substance misuse or drug abuse in Nigeria and in low and medium income countries? One, it is tailor-driven. The COMBI alone, as I've talked about, COMBI look at capacity, opportunity, and motivation to bring about behavioral change. Science has shown that if people have the right capacity, the right opportunity, and motivation, there will be a behavioral change in their attitude. Now, the beauty of Ebenezer's framework approach did not just stop in COMBI alone, because COMBI alone could not address the Nigerian peculiar situation. You understand? COMBI could work in developed nations like UK and the rest of them, but in Nigeria, more needs to be done. Now, the Ebenezer's framework approach now addresses the open drug market and other avenues by using the socio-ecological model in combination with COMBI. What the socio-ecological model looks at? It looks at what areas at the family levels, at the individual level, at the community level, at the policy level, at the government level, at the 5 different levels of where substances are being likely to be misused. The socio-ecological model talks about this, and this is what the Ebenezer's model elaborate that at individual level, people can be identified at the individual level through media creation, knowledge awareness. The same thing can go to the family level, ensuring that family are supported, parents are given the right support, how to identify when their kids are misusing substances, what to do, where to seek help, and the rest of them. And on that, under that, we look at it at the institutional level, look about creating institutions at workplaces. This is where most people as well misuse substances. So the Ebenezer framework approach addresses substance misuse in each of these levels. Now, it is not just stop at these levels now. It's not combined and tailor this misuse prevention and management using the trans-theoretical model. And what does the trans-theoretical model talk about? It talks about people are at different stage of recovery or prevention or management at a time. Some can be at the pre-conception stage, some could be at the conception stage, some could be at the action stage. So the trans-theoretical model talks about that people can be managed or supported according to their level of readiness, how ready as they are. So let's take, for instance, if people have gotten knowledge about substance misuse, we have different people, some have gotten knowledge, some have not gotten, and the rest of them. The Ebenezer framework approach ensures that people are given knowledge or are supported based on their level of readiness. The preconception, individual at this stage may not recognize that substance use is risky. So festive announcement and media messages raise awareness without accusation. So those that are at the preconception stage that don't know, knowledge creation will be done through media, this like the NDLA is doing now, and the rest of them. Those at the contemplation stage, at this stage, individuals are aware of risk, but ambivalent about their change. Brief conversation by pharmacists, faith leaders, or health workers are highly effective. So individuals that are aware of this risk, but are not bothered about change, we tailor support to them. Using the Ebenezer framework model, it is developed in such a way that those at this stage, we tailor support to them through church leaders, professionals, and the rest of them. And science has shown that at this stage, these ones could come out and prevent or stay away from substance. At the preparation stage, preparation involves planning for a safer behavior during festivities. Individuals identify high-risk events and decide how to avoid or manage them. It's just like in this festive period, where we talk about people identify how to manage the ability to say no to substance misuse. One, the ability to get their drinks covered. Sometimes you say no, you walk away to ease yourself, your drink uncovered, or you didn't go out with your drink. People could put in drugs into your drinks. So it is very important that at the preparation stage, knowledge is created for those that are aware and how to prevent abusing substances. And in the prevention, referral to services before holiday begins ensures continuity, like what the NDLA is doing. They have a 24 hours line where you could call to get support at this level. And the transtheoretical model talk about the action stage, which involve active management in treatment of behavioral change. Continued access to treatment and mental health services is essential during festive period. There are times where it is important that people have access, and I'm so happy that Femi have stated there in this platform that on Christmas Day, 24 hours or so, there are people that could talk to you, that could give you counsel on drug and substance misuse. Hence, it is very, very important that individuals are not stopped from getting services at this stage. Otherwise, the tendency of relapse might come in. And the maintenance focuses on sustaining recovery and prevention relapse. Daily checks in, provide reassurance and accountability. So in the public health domain, in the prevention and management of substance misuse, the most effective intervention for low and medium income countries and also developed nations is the Ebenezer framework approach. And this framework brings about behavioral change through capacity, opportunity, and motivation development. It is tailored to individual needs through the socio-ecological model at the individual level, family, community, institutional level. And this can be evaluated using the trans-theoretical model, all inside the Ebenezer framework approach, whereby people are giving services according to their level of readiness. The solution to substance misuse in Nigeria is here. Ebenezer's framework approach is an evidence-based framework tested and proven to manage substance misuse in Nigeria. So we are here to support and to help Nigeria move away from substance misuse using this evidence-based framework. I want to stop here for now, and I want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I'll be open for questions. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, Femi or Bamidele, please. So I'm looking for a question where I will discuss more on the management, more on the prevention, and more on the Ebenezer framework approach for institutions that want to know more about this, and also for companies that need training for their staffs, for their schools, and the rest of them. We could provide such services because of we developed the framework and we have the capacity, the technical know-how to support individuals on this from Opioid Recovery Foundation. Thank you so much, NDLA, for having me. Over to you, Bamidele. Hello, Bamidele, you are muted.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. Ebenezer, for that brilliant presentation. I believe you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, with that done, let's quickly move to the next stage of this conversation, and that will be, let's appreciate all our compatriots who have joined us on other platforms, especially those who have joined us on our Facebook page, that's at NDLA 01, and our YouTube channel, that's at NDLA TV. Thank you very much, everyone. And right here on X, we have a number of our compatriots who are joining in to be a part of this conversation. Thank you, everyone. Let me quickly acknowledge right on SPS here, that's John Ogunjimi. Thank you very much, John, for being a part of the conversation today. We also have, apart from John, we have Funshojimo. Funshojimo is another regular on the platform. And then we also have Al Farouk. Thank you, Al Farouk. Prince Vincent. Thank you, Prince. We also have Jimmy Salami. Thank you, Jimmy Salami. Ilyasu Musa. Thank you for being a part of the conversation today. We also have Miriam Bamidele. Yes, Miriam Bamidele has been bubbling in our DM. Thank you very much, Miriam. Miriam is already part of regular member of this platform. Thank you, Miriam. That's Miriam joins us from an undergraduate in Osun State. We also have Baba Gana Buka. Thank you, Baba Gana. Wuniwale Ganus. Thank you, Wuniwale Ganus. We also have Shibo, Femia Yakubu, Ibrahim Kuru. Ibrahim Kuru, quite a while. It's our pleasure to see you here again, Ibrahim. Prince Isaac, Uncle Deji. These are regular members of the platform. And then we have a Sky Downfall driver. That's at Captain Jamil. Thank you very much, Captain Jamil. Ipemida. Thank you. Abubakar Dauda Guayo. Thank you. Alessandra Okoro. Thank you, Alessandra. And we also have Femi Aino. Femi Aino joins us from the UK. Thank you very much. We have Femi Ladiron. Adams, we have Steshila, Adeyeba Femi Lekan, and then we have Wale Crown, thank you, and also Joe Ololo. Thank you very much, Joe Ololo. Once again, we'd like to appreciate everyone joining us from across the globe. This is the 167th edition of NDLA's Open Forum on X Space. And somehow, this is the last edition of this program this year. We'll be taking a break until the new year. But then, in the last 30 minutes, we have listened to Dr. Ebenezer discussing our topic for today, that is festive season drug abuse prevention, management, and public health driven interventions. And it's no doubt that he's giving a good account of himself, giving us great insights into this old issue. And so we'll be diving into the question and answer session. Now, for those who want to make contributions, this is the time for you to dive in, request for the mic, who approve you, and then you ask your question or you make your contributions in a few words so that we can save time. Apart from that, we also have a lot of questions already in our DM. We have people who are also making comments in our DM. We would also be reading those ones from time. So if you like to ask a question or make your contribution live here, you can request for the mic now. We'll approve you. But please, after the approval, just remain muted until we then come back to you to invite you to make your contribution or ask your questions. Let's go live into our DM and then we'll start reading the questions so that Dr. Ebenezer can be attending or responding to them one after the other. Okay, perhaps if I scroll through some of these messages in our DM, that's especially the questions, if there are those that had been attended to or treated in the course of the presentation by Dr. Ebenezer, would most likely skip that. So if you send in questions and we're not reading them out, please note that they have been addressed in the course of Dr. Ebenezer's presentation. This one, what early warning signs indicate drug misuse during festive? Well, let me not speak for Dr. Ebenezer, but then let me ask the question nevertheless. This is coming from Besma. Besma wants to know what early warning signs indicate drug misuse during festive season. Dr. Ebenezer, there are different warning signs of drug misuse during festive periods. Please go ahead and respond to Besma.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bestman, for the question. I think with the warning sign, there's no special warning sign during the festive period. Well, what happens during festive period is that why we are talking about this festive period is because of one, we have more of these cases. People are easily influenced because of one, their safeguarding is reduced, one, and they have easy access to drinks, parties. When parties are extended for a long time, when there is little or nothing to do, people just start having drinks and bringing up things to get high when they are bored. So early morning signs which you could see is behavioral signs, sudden changes in behavior. So when you notice someone having a sudden change, abrupt change in behavior that have lasted for 1 or 2 days, is something for you to query. Mostly parents should look at, spouses should look at as well, clergymen should look at on their personality. Increased secrecy, when people become too secretive, kids, they see you, they are hiding, they see that they are trying to dodge and the rest of them. Another thing which you should look at in this festive period, when people begin to stay out very late without any clear explanation. Let me say, for instance, your kids have not been staying out late, and most times for the past 3 days, 4 days going, they've been staying out late. You should sit down and find out. And this is festive period. The schools that are closing. If you notice lots for As I said, this presentation is not tied towards the festive period alone because of one, it should be a way of lifestyle. When kids are no longer attending school, this is one of the things you should check about. And under the other part, you should look at the emotional and psychological science. Now we look at the behavioral science, the emotional and psychological science. What you should see is when someone becomes too anxious, overexcited, or over-exaggerated confidence during celebrations. You should look at this person might be high on something. And if somebody that can cope with stress before and all of a sudden cannot cope with stress so much, you should look at it. Another thing is the physical ones you could look at is or symptoms you could look at it. You could see is the bloodshot eyes or dilated constricted pupils. When you look at the eyes, pupils look dilated, or when their speech is slurred, or poor coordination in activity. For me, once I see someone that is misusing substances, I have this thing of knowing. They are looking tattered. One, if they are not looking tattered, they are looking stressed. Two, their eyes, their facial, their appearance, and the rest of them. This is mostly in their withdrawal state. They begin to look very, very uncomfortable and not generally disoriented, but unsettled. That is the word. So these are the basic ones you could look at and then suspect that. But it doesn't actually occur only in festive period. The signs are there, whether festive or not. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know if that answered your question.
Absolutely, thank you. I believe best man should be satisfied. That is, I mean, they are just universal signs. So whether it is festive or not festive, the signs are always there for anybody to dictate. But then, most importantly, if one is in doubt, that's why we have drug integrity test. The NDLA has country I mean, parents that will have test kits that parents that will encourage parents to even have at home, and just anytime you have any doubts, it's just a matter of it's easy to use. You can do that yourself, and if you have issues understanding it, the NDLA has toll-free helpline on those kits, and you can call our center, and you'll be put through. All right, that's that. Thank you very much, Ebenezer, for that response. Let's take the next question in DM now. Okay, is there anyone here? Okay. This one, how can sustainable public health strategy reduce restriction? What immediate steps should be taken in case of drug overdose? Okay, maybe this person is trying to consult ahead. Okay, this is Moyo. Moyo is asking, I'd like to know what immediate steps one should take uh, in cases of drug overdose during this festive period, especially those of us that will be in the midst of friends in parties. What immediate steps can one take in case anyone goes into overdose and there are incidents? All right, Dr. Minister, that's you have it there.
Thank you so much for that question. One of the immediate steps one could take, first of all, the immediate thing you could do, drink a lot of water. Water dilutes a lot of things. You could drink a lot of water. There's something common here in the UK. It's called coconut water. If you can find that, the natural one, not the one that is what do you call it? Not the concentrate. The natural one. Take a lot of that. That could help. That's one. But the most important thing you should do, call the NDLA helpline. You cannot manage it yourself. I don't want to start giving prescriptions on what to do because if I talk about buprenorphine and the rest of it, you don't know when to use it. One, you don't know how to use it. Two, three, you don't know this one or two side effects you might see, and the rest of it. So the NDLA helpline is there. Call them. They are ready to support you too. Or go to any healthcare facility where you have a registered doctor, or signpost you to your nearest community pharmacist. I think he or she can signpost you to where you refer you to where you can get the right support. But once there's the overdose is seen, I won't say I want to give you a prescription over the phone, over this it's not ethical and the rest of them. So consult the NDLA helpline, make that call instantly, see your doctor if you are close by, or walk into any community pharmacist, ask of the community pharmacist and the rest of them. He or she could signpost you to where you could get help. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. Ebenezer. Let's I'm scanning through some of we have tens of messages and questions in our DM, so I'm trying to filter them and see the ones that had not been addressed. Okay, quickly, while I do that, I've just seen Ibrahim, Ibrahim Kuru. Ibrahim Kuru, I'm glad to have you back to see you. Compliments of the season. Would you want to ask a question or you want to make a contribution? Yeah, Ibrahim Kuru, can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
Compliments
very
of the
well.
season.
Same to you. Good to hear
Yes,
from
sir.
you.
Yes, well.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
My question to the doctor is that what are his plans in advocacy, especially in primary and secondary school? Like on the campaign against drug use, like start at home and while they are kids, because most times by the time they get to university and they're used to seeing and doing these things, it's harder. So the preventive measures I'm talking about, what are his when it comes to set up his foundation?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. It is a collective action, but my plan still remains on the Ebenezer's framework approach, which has been developed, and I'm happy to give it to Nigeria free of charge at no cost. I'm happy to do about the planning, implementation, management, and evaluation at no cost. Now, my NGO, Hope Gila Recovery Foundation, what are we doing? What we are doing now, we've covered a lot of schools in Port Harcourt, primary and secondary schools. What we do now, we are looking at the Catch Them Young program, where we educate students, create awareness and advocacy on the dangers of substance misuse, how to say no, how to identify substances, and prevent using them. We are using the NESCAP story or success story in Japan to implement to run ours in Nigeria. But the beauty about what we are doing is that we are using the Ebenezer's framework approach, which ensure that knowledge is driven, is knowledge based. So we are meeting the youth at the point of their needs. We are educating parents in churches and in community centers. We are educating the children in their schools. We have some day where we come in to speak. We are also training teachers as well. That is the capacity building. Now, the Ebenezer's framework as well, which we're also using, is individually tailored. You understand? So if we have a student that is at a stage of preparation or at its initial stage and the rest of them, it is tailored to the person's need. So at the point of need or what help the person needs, our program is tailored to them. For now, we are doing a lot in River State. We are getting to Abuja early next year. And there's a national drug summit coming up, and I'll be discussing that the Ebenezer's framework approach for Nigeria on the way forward. That will be coming up in March, and the rest in Abuja. We'll talk with there as well. So we have so much in stock for Nigeria, and hopefully we could partner with a lot of organizations to spread this into other states, other regions, and salvage Nigeria's health system. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. Ebenezer. Let's take another one from Ojo. Ojo wants Dr. the guest speaker to speak on since he's based in environments used where best global practices are the norm. I'd like our guest speaker to give us some sustainable public health strategies that can reduce festive season drug abuse beyond the holidays, especially as practicable where he is, and that can be modified or brought into use within the context of low income or middle income countries, which bracket Nigeria may likely fall. Okay, thank you very much there, Ojo. All right, I believe Dr. Ebenezer, you got his question.
Loud and clear, very clear. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for that question. The way forward for Nigeria still remains the Ebenezer's framework approach. It's an evidence-based approach. In the UK, they have a structured system whereby people cannot access drug, and that is why Nigeria. And I'm saying it out clear. And I said, I'm a pharmacist. I have no personal interest in this, and my interest is to solve Nigeria's problem. The open drug market has to go. Everyone should see it as a global fight or as a different thing. Because of one, if somebody can access in the UK, I can't walk up to the pharmacy, even as a pharmacist, and ask for tramadol, 200 milligrams. They will not sell me. I will need a prescription. Even as a prescriber, if I'm a prescriber, I cannot prescribe for myself. I need to go and see a pharmacist that is a prescriber or a doctor that is a prescriber to get that medicine, or a specialist in that area. So in that way, people cannot access this medication. And when people cannot access this medication, they make use of healthy alternatives. And what are those things? We drink Coca-Cola, drink water, drink healthy juice, go for exercises, go for sports, and the rest of them. These have helped this system. But I'm not telling you that substance misuse is not present here. But to a large extent, easy access is reduced. In Nigerian situation now, the open drug market has to go. And that is where the Ebenezer framework approach captured it. The Combi model in the Ebenezer framework approach was talking about behavioral change. But in Nigeria, it's not just behavioral change we need. We need more than behavioral change. The open access, easy access to substance misuse must be prevented. And how can we prevent it? By setting up regional drug markets. This is all seen in the Ebenezer framework approach. In all geopolitical regions, whereby NAFDAC have an office there, NDL have an office there. Every drug is purchased by a clinical pharmacist, and out. So control medications don't have access, people don't have access to it. And if people don't have access to it, 60% of the problem is solved. The second way that is working in this part of the world is advocacy, as I've told you. Collecting the knowledge, creating the information, and the rest of them, catching them young. I bet you, if we implement a Ebenezer framework approach in 5 years, currently Nigerian substance misuse is at 14.4%. Nigerian drug misuse is 3 times higher than the global level. And the WHO have said that if nothing is done, it is going to be an impending disaster. These kidnappings you are seeing, this Boko Haram and the rest of bandits and the rest of them, what is influencing them is the easy access. You can see NDL is one of the key things that was they caught that was supplying these substances. It's easy access to substance misuse. The Ebenezer framework approach talk about how these markets will be shut from selling these controlled drugs, and secondly, how this could be replaced with regional controlled markets. And another way to help Nigeria as well, which most NAFDAC is doing, I want to commend the DG of NAFDAC for that as well. It is putting barcoded products on each controlled medication, like codeine syrup, tramadol, from the manufacturers, either from this country or outside the country, so that at each point in time, you can track in where the medicines are. Let's say, for instance, I bring in 10 cartons of tramadol into the country, and a smart person buys 5 cartons and take it to the Onitsha market. You can track, by the time that drug is going to Onitsha, you can track where the drug is at this point too. So in that way, we can know where these medicines are, we could prevent them and coordinate them. The way out is a Ebenezer framework approach. This is the time for us, for Nigeria, to act. It's a call to duty. I feel concerned because of why do I feel concerned? My immediate neighbor is a medical doctor. He was kidnapped in Port Harcourt, but thank God, after ransom was paid, was released. And this gives me the passion to know why are people getting into kidnappings. And from our studies and the rest of them, not just lack of money and the rest of them, influence of social vices, drug. Hence, I was interested in solving substance misuse problem. So the Nigeria's problem solution is here. The answer simply remains a business framework approach. And I've
Aha! I'm the bunch. Oskima like what Jamaica press call me. Importer, exporter, cocoa water. Osina water puro garaya one. Of the whole amount for Shengula. Mr. Chassi again. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Pancho,
Like international man, we need you in Nigeria. We need your efforts. And the fact remains, there's still some things that I want to contribute. Please, can you clarify whether drug addiction is a moral problem or medical problems? Because when I look at pharmaceutical power and biomedical dominancy, it's a moral problem. You know, when anything happens, they quickly run to pharmacy or doctors, which most of the cases, they are social problems. They are not medical problems. But however, due to biomedical dominancy or pharmaceutical power, they misdiagnose, they misappropriate intervention. Please, can you clear whether drug addiction is a moral problems or medical problems? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that intelligent question. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, we're
Can you hear
hearing
me?
you
Hello?
very well, Mr. Femi. Mr. Femi, I know we can hear you. Dr. Ebenezer already got your question. Okay, Dr. Ebenezer, please go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. For me, drug addiction is a medical problem.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello,
I think Mr. Eno has a problem with his line, so you may have to exit and come back, Mr. Eno. But Dr. Ebenezer, virtually everybody on the platform can hear you, so please go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. Drug addiction, enough for the question. Drug addiction is a medical problem. I want to see it as a medical problem, not just a moral problem. Addiction is a chronic brain disorder that affects decision, impulse control, and behavior. Okay? Now, it is not just a moral problem because of its lack of willpower. So addiction is not just a moral problem because of lack of willpower. Look at the word addiction. This one, the person is addicted to the issue. So it is a moral problem. Drugs, like I was talking earlier. Give a child and a teenager 4 capsules of tramadol, 200 milligrams. That teenager can carry gun and shoot the parents without feeling it. That is what these bandits, kidnappers are taking. That is why they don't have that. There's a total change in their brain chemistry. So when this happens, their attitude it changes. So it is a medical problem, and it's also a public health problem as well, because it's also influenced by social and economic environmental factors. Let's take for instance Nigeria. The easy access to substance misuse is causing drug addiction. So it is more a medical problem, it is more a public health problem than a moral problem. So early prevention is very important in in the public health and domain. So when we're looking at the moral aspect of it, the moral we'll be looking at talking about stigma and the rest of them. But addiction is not just about stigma; it is a brain disorder. So it's more a public health problem and a medical problem. Thank you. That's my opinion on that.
All right, thank you very much there. Okay, let's okay, before I invite Alexander to make his contribution or ask his question, let's quickly um, acknowledge some of our compatriots. Again, we have Dr. Abdul Wahab Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah is a consultant psychiatrist at the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria. Thank you, Dr. Abdullah, for coming around. Dr. Abdullah joins us on the handle of Excel Mental Health Foundation. We also have Gabby Brooks Jr. Thank you, Gabby Brooks. We also have Abba Rabiu Musa. Thank you. Dr. Jonah Kolo. Dr. Jonah Kolo is a senior officer of the agency. Thank you very much. Femi WT. Thank you. Masha Allahu Jada. Thank you. Osaro Richard. Thank you. Let me take a pause there and then we'll come back to more acknowledgements if we have more time on our hands. But right now we have barely 30 minutes left. Let's quickly get some more contributions. All right, let's invite Alessandra to make his contributions or ask his questions. Please, Alessandra, go ahead, please. Thank you. Alessandra, you are muted. Okay, if Alessandra is not ready, let me take some more questions from DM there. Okay, this okay, we've asked that one. Many drugs, location. I think that one has also been treated in the course of Dr. Okay, I guess it's guess some more people. Okay, let's I've seen Mohammed Waziri. Okay, let's have Mohammed Waziri now. I guess your network is stable now. Yeah. Okay, Mohammed is not ready. Alessandra, you are ready now?
Yes, yes. You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ebenezer. Wonderful contribution, wonderful contribution. Thank you, Mr. Femi, for the privilege. Of course, you see, you have made a very salient point. The whole idea about selling, about influencing a community or a society, okay, which was part of what you cited, selling how Nestle Food wanted to sell their product to a community, to a country, and they were refused. But they came back after some research to now start putting their caffeine in little products like sweets, items that appeal to the taste of children. And of course, eventually they broke into the market. Of course, you see, to deal with drug abuse in Nigeria, we definitely must influence those in their formative stage. There's not, we must influence them. And I usually say that the pencil is the ladder. If we must get them, then we must go to schools. All right. So I want to thank you, sir, for the framework you have developed. My question is, what is the most effective approach for drug prevention among teenagers in secondary schools? The most effective approach for drug prevention among teenagers, the most effective tested approach that you know. I know you mentioned some points. Maybe you want to hit on them again. All right. The most effective approach, and how can we access the Ebenezer framework that you have developed? Okay. So that's my question. And just of course to address the fact that if we must influence our society and change the statistics, change the figures of drug use in Nigeria, we must influence our teenagers. We must influence our teenagers. So let me get your feedback on the most effective approach to drug prevention in secondary schools amongst teenagers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that intelligent question. And thank you so much that you've also identified that we need to start early. And to start early, we're going to get to this. So the most effective approach is also captured in the Ebenezer's framework approach. And I'm going to talk to you how you're going to get this approach. Like early age and appropriate education, we need to start early. Catch these children young. Be it at home, educate our parents to make sure that their wards and their children are educated. Go to schools and make children, give them the knowledge, the ability to say no to substance and drug misuse, no matter who is involved. Tell them about the dangers of this to their future and the rest of. We've seen this in Port Harcourt. We've done this so much in Port Harcourt. We could see the result it is creating. That is one. Now, I shared with you my story in secondary school. I don't want to mention the school I went to and the rest of it. I got to school one morning in SS1 in Port Harcourt, to be specific. Three of my very good, we are 4 friends, very intelligent set of people, my focused people. But one morning I got to school. 3 of them started smoking. They called themselves young buzzers. And I said, what was that? Why you? They said, no, they are now young buzzers, the blah. For me, what helped me was that the ability to say no. They said, please test it and become high. I said, no. One, because of one. I won't say the fear of my mom, but the mission that she had inculcated in me helped me one. My moral upstanding, my characteristics that was built in school and also in the religious setting as well. And also the advocacy programs I've heard about. Understand, this helped me to understand that drug misuse can deviate my vision of where I'm going to in the future. So for me to prevent that, I need to stay away from drug misuse. Having that knowledge, which is created through capacity building, also captured in the Ebenezer's framework approach, will go a long way. Another way to help you that is tested and proven is life skills and resilience building. We're going to teach teenagers, which is about life skills, building emotional regulation, decision making, and problem solving skills. Get their mind captured on other things. An idle man is a devil's workshop. That is just the truth. That is why we get them engaged on useful things, either football, either sports, either playing games, either sharing pairs as well, and also reducing their screen time. People were in a developed world now, which is affecting most developed countries, mostly the United Kingdom. People have access to technology. I'm not saying don't give your kids technology. Reduce their screen time 1 hour a day during school time, then 2 hours during the holidays. Understand? And ensuring that their phones is children restricted in the sense that they cannot go to sites where they don't have access to. My wife constantly does this with my son. Can I have your phone and the rest of it? I'll make sure that from our own phone, she can see what they are watching, see sites they are going to, and the rest of them. With that, through the technological know-how, they cannot be influenced. Because of one, they are not getting access to wrong site whereby wrong people can influence them, sell them drugs, and the rest of them. That's another one. Strong parental engagement, which I've talked about. It just boils on the family nucleus. If the foundation is faulty, what will the righteous do? So the basic thing is to set the foundations right. Use the next model. Solve the problem. Start hitting the teenagers and the primary school people at a very young age. Engage our parents, equip them with knowledge, and making sure these kids are engaged. Once you engage these ones with the right thing and put their energy to the right stuff, they will come up very well. Evidence have shown that. And then the last question on how do you get the Ebenezer's framework approach? My book will be coming out in March during the National Drug Summit, and on the Ebenezer's framework approach and what it is. So I've done 1 or 2 publications which the approach was talked about, not extensively because of the volume of work needed in that publication, the word limit. So the book will be coming out managing and preventing substance misuse in Nigeria using the Ebenezer's framework approach, a way forward for Nigeria. That will be coming out during the National Drug Summit. I'm one of the chairman of the technical summit. I'm planning and the rest of this. So that summit I will be in Nigeria by God's grace for that program, and that book will be launched that period. So I want you to look out for it, and the rest. It will be an Amazon as well. And if you drop me your email or so, I could share with you once it's available. So I think the Ebenezer's framework approach in summary talks about using 3 different models. Combi model, which is capacity, opportunity, and motivation to bring about behavioral change. Social ecological model, which is ensuring that for us to bring about change, like in the Nigeria scenario, we need to look not just a behavioral change, we need to look at other factors, the open drug market. This is addressed, understand, in the Ebenezer's framework approach. It talks about identifying change at the individual level, at the family level, at the institutional level, at the community level, and the rest of it. So at each point, they are having support system and the rest of them. And finally, the theoretical model, which is in the Ebenezer's framework approach, talks about bringing about this change to the individuals at their point of need. For instance, somebody might be at point A. The intervention is tailored to that person at point A. The person that is at point B of recovery is tailored to that person. The person that is at point C is recovery is tailored to that person. And the beauty of the framework is that it is sustainable. You understand? There's yearly evaluation whereby you get the inputs getting from the field are brought in to improve practice and policy for Nigeria and other low developing countries. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. We have less than 20 minutes now, so we're going to be sharing those the few minutes left for us between Mohammed Waziri, Mr. Banks, and Joe Lolo. First, let's take Mohammed Waziri. Mohammed Waziri, let's take your contribution or your question. I hope your network, you are muted. Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now. Yes, please go ahead.
And
Again, your network is still very weak.
yes, I am really appreciate the NDA of the education that having Nigeria up to lead. Am I audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the man our guests for us to be happy because we appreciate the NDA for this Italy. Yeah, thank you. I don't have any question. I really appreciate you to be the so I want the NDA to hand it to Northern Nigeria politics. In very much.
All right, thank you very much there, Mohammed Waziri. Let's take the next one from Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks, please go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead.
Yes, I want to focus my question about drugs and how people are being affected towards it. We all know how much drugs can affect the human reasoning, but where I want to lay emphasis is on the government aspect of it. Those that are not taking it, what are their gain? You know, in life, when we have something to lose towards what we take, substance we take, then we get scared of it. People are facing depression. People are facing because they have nothing to lose if they take it. I went through NYSC and I saw that even the NYSC does not check the candidates they admit into the NYSC if they are taking drugs or not. If citizens have something to lose, you can see allegedly, I would say you can see a policeman who is taking legal substance. Then you arrest somebody who is selling it. What difference are you? You are a you're a lawmaker. I said you're a law enforcer, but you're taking the substances. My point is, if people have something to lose by taking the drugs, and they have something to gain when they don't take the drugs, then it will reduce the rate of drugs. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let's take the last one. I hope Dr. Ebenezer, you're taking notes of them. Then let's take the last one from Joe Ololo. Then we can then ask you to speak to all of them. Please, Joe Ololo, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Well done. Great you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Ebenezer. I really appreciate this your skill or this your idea because as an Afrogenetic art scientist, I believe that whatever it is that you are looking from the edge of the individual, the organizations in the society, and the society itself, I think you are ready to solve the people's problem because you are looking at the symbiotic relationship of uh, the construct of the society. Now, my own contribution is that what is NDLEA doing with National Orientation Agency? We have NOAA in Nigeria. We have National Orientation Agency. So, National Orientation Agency can actually help. We have organizations like the Red Cross and perhaps some other organizations that support the idea of preventing drug abuse or managing drug abuse. So, these are some of the organizations that I believe if National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, if they partner with them, if this organization partner with them, yes, good end result can actually we can actually get good end result as at this time. Then you do not actually fight against what you do not understand. A doctor does not run away from the sick person. A doctor gets closer to the patient, even though being cautious. So I am saying also that there should be foot soldiers of NDLEA who go into all these shanties and all these ghettos and whatever it is, who go into all these places to do the sensitization, the conscientization, and the orientation of Nigerian citizens, especially those ones in our own generation that are still very young. So that is my own idea. I think this is not something that one can actually approach in a day, because if you look at the structure of your SEM for the Ebenezer Foundation, if you look at the structure, you look at even under the individual stance, there are so many things to tackle. I'm a genetic art scientist. I know when you're talking about drugs, you're talking about gene, you're talking about so many other things even. So I am only advising that in the future, these other people can actually, we can, National Orientation Agency have so many things to do in cases like this. I submit.
All right, thank you very much, dear Joe Ololo. And Dr. Ebenezer, let me quickly address the last question where Joe Ololo is asking what does the agency do with NOA, that's the National Orientation Agency. I'll first like to establish the fact that the NDLA not only, the NDLA has as our strategy what you call a whole of government approach, that is to our drug demand reduction. We have two major pillars in our operations: drug demand reduction, where we raise awareness, sensitization, and then providing treatment and support to those who are already in contact with drugs that those are already using, and then reintegration. And now in the area of this drug demand reduction, we have a whole of government approach to it, meaning that we work with all the relevant ministries, departments, and agencies of government, including the NOA. I'm sure if you've been following our activities, I can tell you for a fact that indeed months ago we had a program with the NOA in Kaduna that in conjunction with the Office of the Speaker of the House of Reps, that's a sensitization program addressing the drug use problem in the Northwest. That campaign was launched there along with the NOA. So it's indeed, it's not, we're not just working with not just one government institution, all the relevant government institutions, whether in the area of drug supply reduction or in the area of drug demand reduction, we have working relationships or partnership with them. That's a whole of government approach. And then on the other hand is the whole of society approach, meaning that everybody, including you, I mean, our doors are open to every citizen, to every group, non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, community-based organizations, everybody. And that's why if you follow initial news highlights, we do bring tidbits of some of these activities across the country in schools, in markets, in worship centers, churches, mosques, as well as palaces of traditional rulers and communities. All of these activities are ongoing by all our commands and formations across the country. And we don't do this alone. We also do this in partnership with all of these stakeholders. So this whole thing is ongoing, but it's a problem that has been there for years. So it's not something we're going to be solving like tomorrow. And that's why everybody, starting from the home front, from the family unit, like Dr. Ebenezer did point out in his presentation, this whole thing, the family unit, everybody has to take a responsibility. And if you, Joe Ololo, in your own sphere of influence, you have a sphere of influence, you need to talk about this, make this, and this is all what we're doing. That's part of the reason we're here, to get everybody involved, to get everybody to buy in and take ownership of this thing, so that together we can address this issue, we can raise awareness, we can sensitize everybody. And we do quite a lot in this regard, in addition to our drug supply reduction efforts, trying to cut access and availability of these drugs, as well as going after the dealers, the drug barons, the cartels, to ensure that we also block them and take them out of circulation, in addition to seizing and destroying all of those illicit substances. Thank you very much. Just needed to bring that bring you up to speed on that. Now let's invite our guest speaker to speak to the rest, and if perhaps you still have something to address in what Joe Lolo has said, please go ahead. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you so much. The MDLA is doing so much. We need to give a clap to them, to their chairman, and to all the staff, because of one, it's a risky job. It's not a job for only them alone. Substance and drug misuse is not a fight for MDLA alone. The cost of putting staff on ground, the risk as well associated with it is a risky one. So we need to, that's why the Ebenezer's model talk about meeting this issue, confronting it at all levels, society, community, and the rest of them. So it's a fight for all. Then the other question was talking about what are the gains. The short gains people gain is just to feel high, and the rest of them and this thing, which is just a long short time of misusing substances. However, the effect of it, the after effect of substance misuse cannot be overemphasized. It affects society, it affects the individual first, the family one. See, the most look at kids where their father or mother is abusing substances. If care is not taken, those children don't turn out well, which in turn affects the society. See, this society we are talking about, it's not just overnight. It is the individual, the family. So if that nucleus is faulty, that is why we need to understand that drug misuse is from the family, it's from the individual. Once we can tackle that, head not, and the rest of them. And from your question, another way NDLA could look at, which I'm sure they are doing as well, in order to improve, highlighting their fact as well, is to talk more on the effect, which they have been talking about. What are the effects? The individual, one, if you see people that are misusing substances, no matter how wealthy they are, give the person 1 year, the person can finish $100,000 on drugs and become rich, because that's saying it is that bad, it is that demonic, it is not just ordinary. So the benefits of using substances are just short-lived, 2-3 hours to be high, but the consequences is a lifetime, and the time to act is now. Thank you so much.
Very well, the time to act is now. That is a fact. And then, just like Dr. Ebenezer said, very well, absolutely. Just like Dr. Ebenezer said, users have quite a lot to lose, so there is nothing like, in fact, even if you you enjoy the euphoria for just a few minutes, but then the consequences, the effect of that can live with you all through the days of your life. So that's why we encourage people, it's better you don't do it at all, because you never can tell the kind of scars you're going to be dealing with, even if you come out of it, not to talk of some people may never even recover from it. All right, that's that. Okay, let's take one last contribution from Mr. Banks, and then we'll ask Dr. Ebenezer to give his closing remarks. Mr. Max and Blanks, please go ahead.
He didn't get my question right. I was trying to ask. I'm not talking about. I'm not focusing on what to gain and what to lose while taking the drugs. But I am saying that if the citizen, like, let us talk about people recruitment. Once they are doing recruitment, it should be added that a drug abuse, they have to undergo a test for a drug
Okay,
abuse.
drug
That's
test.
my
Okay.
point.
All right, Mr. Banks. Okay, I'll then answer that. I can tell you that the NDLA has a drug integrity test policy in place, and in fact, that has been again further strengthened by the recent adoption of that policy by the Federal Ministry of Education, which has now made it compulsory across all our educational institutions, both secondary and tertiary institutions, where it is now made compulsory for fresh students. If you are coming in fresh, you undergo drug integrity test, and if you are a returning student, you undergo drug integrity test. What that does is to discourage students from going in their formative years, to discourage them from going into substance abuse, because when they know that before they go into secondary school, they will be subjected to this drug integrity test. They would not have that encouragement or the incentive to go into substance abuse. And even when they are done in secondary school, if they are able to manage it, to avoid it, and then before going into university again, they also know that they also have to face the same drug integrity test. That will also be another discouragement, and all through their years in the university. And that's why the last stage for us now to bring in into this bracket is at the level of the National Youth Service Corps, when they will be serving. Already, we are pushing the advocacy quite a number of employers, including government agencies and the private sector. They are already making this also compulsory for people, for prospective employees to undergo drug integrity tests. So along the line, along the formative years and up to the majority level, we have all of these checks in place to discourage people. So we're driving the advocacy, and it's really getting well grounded across the country. And in some states today, I can also tell you, as a result of this whole advocacy effort, quite some states now are also making it compulsory for anybody who will have to be appointed as commissioners, and who would also have to go for elective offices. They also make it compulsory for you to undergo drug integrity test. So that's that much that I can tell you. There are the things we have achieved recently, and we're still pushing hard. All right, thank you very much, dear Mr. Banks. I believe you understood our response perfectly well. Now, let's invite our guest speaker, Dr. Ebenezer, to give his closing remarks, and then we'll draw the curtain on this conversation today. Thank you very much, Dr. Ebenezer. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, NDLA. Thank you, everyone that have contributed, that have listened, and that have followed us. The simple message is that festive season should not be period of joy for just a misuse of substance or abusing substance. Okay, parents, churches, and schools have a role to play in preventing and managing substance misuse in our society. The time to act is now. Festive seasons are times of joy, so we should ensure that we can have joy without misusing substance. Spread the message. Enjoy your season without misusing substance, or enjoy your season and stay drug free. That is the way to go, and that is the action plan. Thank you so much, and God bless.
All right, thank you very much. Dr. Ebenezer is a distinguished pharmacist with expertise in mental health, substance misuse, and public health. With over 2 decades of experience spanning community pharmacist practice, academia research, consultancy, and global health leadership, is a researcher at the University of Birmingham, where his PhD focused on substance misuse prevention management and public health driven interventions with relevance to Nigeria and middle income countries. It's been a pleasure having you join us for the past 2 hours. Thank you very much for the brilliant presentation and all the responses to the questions that have been fired at you. Thank you very much for that. We also like to appreciate everyone that has been a part of this across Nigeria, Africa, Europe, especially our compatriots in the UK and across the US. Thank you very much for being a part of the conversation today. I would like to also appreciate everyone that has joined us via our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much. And I would like to bring greetings from the Chairman Chief Executive of the NDLA, General Mohammed Buba Mamara, retired, who remains very strong on his seat, even in spite of the holiday season, would definitely continue to drive all the efforts. So there is no letting down and there is no letting down our guts. That everyone can rest assured. Would also like to appreciate my colleagues working behind the scene here with me. That is Rita, Francis, Dele, Mahmoud, Philemon, Kumbi, who else is there? Ebon, Miriam, and all of you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And Victor, thank you very much, Victor in Lagos. I appreciate you. Your consistent and persistent support. All right, that's the much we can take today. And like I said before, this will be our last episode or edition for this year. We will be catching up, returning back on this page. But then our social media handles and our website will still be open to a lot of advocacy messages, postcards, and videos. We have quite a lot in stock for you for this season. Whether you talk of narco tales, we have productions ready that will be releasing every like today. Now we'll be releasing another edition of narco tales. Please do follow our social media handles, whether YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram, as well as X. Here we have quite a lot, and on our website, please, we would be releasing all of this, so we'll still definitely be busy. And then I also like to inform us that this program will be moving over to our radio station. It will be opening, a new radio station as part of efforts to drive our advocacy efforts in the coming days. That station will be on air any moment from now, and then in the new year, we'll be formally unveiling that. And this conversation will definitely transition to our radio station, but then we'll still be live here on all our social media handles. So it's really, we have quite a lot to look up to in the new year by the grace of Almighty God. Until we come your way again next time, I remain yours sincerely, Femi Baba Femi. Please, like we said, we have organized 2 episodes dealing on this festive season, 30 December, and what have you. Let's ensure that we take the messages, share the messages, and avoid anything that has to do with illicit substances. And by the grace of God, we'll see you in the new year. Bye from here. Over to you,
Thank you.
Mahmoud.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Femi Femi, the NDLA's Director of Media and Advocacy, for guiding us throughout today's program. For more information about the NDLA, our listeners can visit our website, www.ndla.gov.ng, our social media platforms at NDLA_Nigeria, on X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. On Facebook, it is at NDLA01. Do join us same time next week for another edition of this wonderful program. Bye-bye.